Well, hello there, Libra. Welcome on in to a random next 48-hour tarot reading for you. Keep in mind, as always, general messages for the next 2 days or so, beginning around when you tune into this video, this reading. So just take what resonates and discard the rest, or just see how the next 2 days kind of turn out for you. But as I said, random, it felt like Spirit was trying to hint towards the fact that, you know, you need to remember that nothing is random within your life. You walk a very purposeful path. And it seems like this is playing into the next 2 days quite strategically. You feel like something is coincidental, and then Spirit's saying there's no coincidences, you know? Spirit had their hands on whatever that ended up being, or whatever it ends up, being for you individually. And I want to say that you are processing what you recently went through, and that's helping you come through differently, show up to the world differently. It's helping you produce better. It's really even helping you effectively process things, because I see a lot of you having a bit of a foggy mindset and viewpoint on things. Sorry about the beeping from the school in the background, but you're also going to be feeling like things are about to really head in the right direction, where I want to say it hasn't felt fully or at all like that for you. We will get a couple of these Moonology cards, but spirits just are feeling very chatty. All right, let's see what we get. Self-regulation and the law of attraction. So with the rainbow here, I feel that you are going to now more than ever be able to actually achieve happiness. You may not feel like it with the way I'm channeling, but I'm just feeling overly serious. Anyways, but then they're saying happiness comes in different forms. But Libra, it ends up being a 2-day period as well, where, like it says, you need to self-regulate because things have been throwing you out of whack. Things have been making you feel a bit down in the dumps for some, maybe overly emotional, but I guarantee there was some sort of releasing that had to happen, you know? And it may be tied back into the recent full moon, which keeps popping up in every reading I'm doing. But I feel like it's a time where, as you do self-regulate and work on your happiness and, you know, what you wish to see improved in your life, and even accomplished, you start to really remember that the law of attraction is a real thing. You know, you get what you put out there. You know, you choose to have a mindset of abundance, and then you attract in abundance. You know, you choose to focus on the brighter side of things, and more positive things start to occur and pop up for you. And so again, that's talking about you walking a very purposeful path, where if we need to adjust your mindset at a certain point, meaning spirits, then we will. You know, if we need to help you buckle down and achieve something at the right point, we will. But you're just going to kind of feel things out in the next 48 at certain points, where spirits are kind of nudging you towards, you know, say accomplishing something for work or a hobby or some sort of self-care, or maybe connecting with somebody. And I want to say as well, a lot of you have been kind of neglecting the social aspects of life. You know, you maybe have been just kind of keeping to yourself a lot, and maybe that held great purpose for you. But it feels like you are now being kind of pushed more out into the spotlight, while people are wanting to associate themselves with you more. You know, you have this kind of craving for more connecting with other souls, while I feel there's something about a lot of you really reconnecting differently to a collective or two, or maybe it's a community of some sort like I have here. But regardless, I even feel people kind of feeling bad for you, and I see you wanting to kind of shoo that away, where you're not wanting that kind of energy, you know. But sometimes the gateway to your soul, maybe your spirituality plays into it, your energy, right? It all speaks wonders, and I feel like there's stories being kind of energetically shared and whatnot, to the point where people kind of feel bad a bit because you've been through a lot. But I do see either way, it's like the stresses that you've been through are now starting to be clarified, and it's you kind of not wanting to even hear it, talk about it. You know, I don't want to really relive it, you know, is the message coming through. But then what about it is going to help you in regards to the next chapter, the next commitment, even the continuation of what you have on your plate currently? And I want to as well remind you that you have great control in your life where you feel you don't, you know? It's to say that you will remember at certain points where the control actually does lie and where it doesn't. But there's certain moments in your life recently even where you felt like you did not have control over something when you actually did. I guarantee the energy in the air, pretty much the spiritual energy, was making you feel otherwise, you know? But let's pull a couple tarot. You're also going to be really, proud of yourself, but there's something satisfying about you being really good at what you do. You know, it reminds me of me buckling down, sitting down and just channeling nonstop for these readings, and I finish and I'm like, that was absolutely effing amazing. You know, I know what I'm doing when it comes to this, and it shows. But trust and believe, it didn't come to me right off the bat. I've been doing this for, I think, 6 years now, maybe 7. Anyways, you're also thinking about aging, whether it's physically, your energy, your mindset, what you like and what you don't like, what, you know, kind of does it for you and what doesn't at this point. And they're saying, I should have showed you the Hierophant. They're saying that this is because you have changed, you've grown, you've matured. And so some of you are experiencing a change in your taste buds, reminding me of me recently drinking black coffee, which is so different for me. You know, I started spicing up my food with Tabasco, and I've always hated that specific hot sauce. And so things like this may come into play for you here and there randomly, while purposefully, because they're saying it's like things are shifting within you. You know, you're becoming a different version of yourself, and it's a work in progress. It's kind of feeling a bit drawn out, but then it's like little moments of maybe rediscovery, but new discoveries coming to be in regards to yourself and maybe your path, and even I want to say your spirituality. And it leaves you feeling kind of interested in yourself. That's key. It leaves you feeling interested in who you're becoming and what you wish to actually kind of see outside of you more so, right? Maybe due to, you know, how you're changing all the meanwhile. Very interestingly put. A couple more cards for Libra, please. 722 is a good number for you. And 144. I don't think I've ever looked that one up. I also want to remind you, Libra, you're not an anxious soul at this point. You might think so at certain points, but you're very, very heavily in a shaky way affected by energy. And I kind of got this message, excuse me, for myself earlier. But if you do experience a little bit of a shaky voice, energy speaks, okay? Energy affects. If you experience a little bit of a twitch or you know, kind of a quick movement, I guarantee it's probably a spiritual moment, you know? But it feels like your spirituality is showing up for you differently, more effectively. Some of you honestly had more than one guide kind of clashing or, you know, not working well together. And this could even have played into certain random spirits outside of your team of guides kind of trying to help or just be here with you, for you, and then it makes a negative sort of occurrence come to be, or it works against the positive assistance. Does that make sense? And so your spirituality is showing up more effectively, more positively, and it will help you feel more rewarded, and I want to say even healthier. What else do we have? The Devil card. You're going to find that Spirit's saying now is the time to say absolutely not, you know, to temptation. But then this is talking about bad energy in your midst at times. And if you feel like you can't trust somebody, if you feel like somebody is to be avoided at all costs, then Spirit is saying, please, please, whatever you do, trust yourself in regards to this. We will help you as well while, you know, kind of navigating you to and from to make sure you don't, you know, pick up on the energy or associate yourself with them in any way, shape, or form. But it feels like you can honestly feel the intentions in the air, you know, or maybe the tension in the air is what I just got. But I want you to as well, okay, the number 3 is very significant, and also the shape of a triangle, and I'm also getting a star and a diamond. Interesting. So shapes may show up for you. I'm now hearing wear a necklace, wear a ring or 2, if not 3. Wear some jewelry, accessorize a bit. It's going to be interesting in regards to what clothing choices, what accessories you choose to, spice things up for yourself, or just, there's a lot behind it, okay? It's talking about how you've changed and how you're changing more so, but it's also kind of giving you a bit of clarity in regards to how you wish to show up in the world, or maybe even what you need most. For example, if you choose to get into some really comfy clothing, like a sweatsuit or something, for the day, then I really guarantee what you're needing the most, whether you realize it or not, is comfort, okay? And maybe you want to be shown up to the world, you want to be viewed by people as more of a put together soul. If you've been feeling a bit out of order, out of place, maybe feeling just a little bit jumbled. But sorry, the flies are so annoying. The Three of Wands is saying you are looking forward, and on the near horizon lies a new commitment, a wish fulfillment, and we're getting you ready for it. It's going to be very easily acquired, and they're saying you deserve this, okay? Because this Libran collective needs to remember things can't stay the same. I feel like you don't want them to stay the same, but then you might be worried about what comes next. And so we will squash that worrisome energy, maybe even that fearful energy, because the past is not going to repeat itself, okay? And what you have at hand will start to make more sense to you, all right? So take a deep breath, heal, get ready for the near horizon, and self-regulate, my friend. And remember, you are attracting in exactly what you deserve, all right? So I hope these messages were truly helpful, Libra. Do take care of yourself.